Kim's appearance at the parade with Xi and Putin, the three leaders first together in public, is a win for Kim as he advances his weapons programs and dismisses U.S. attempts to resume talks, an analyst said. Jong Un has spoken of a new Cold War and the need for solidarity against so-called U.S. imperialism. Now he has highly symbolic photos to promote that narrative at home and abroad. Leif Erik Easley, a professor of international studies at Ifa Women's University in Seoul, South Korea, said in emailed comments. Kim can also claim a diplomatic victory as North Korea has gone from unanimously sanctioned by the UN Security Council for its illegal nuclear and missile programs to being embraced by UNSC permanent members Russia and China, he added. Easley said it was unclear whether the three leaders would appear together again anytime soon as they don't often get a chance to meet. The Victory Day parade marks the 80th anniversary of Imperial Japan's surrender at the end of World War II, which China refers to as the War of Resistance against Japanese aggression. Millions of people died during Japan's invasion and occupation of China from 1931 to 1945. Experts said the Beijing parade lacked the spirit of reconciliation seen in other World War II commemorations. It's unfortunate that China can't celebrate itself and it has to celebrate the demise of Japan to gain political validation, said Drew Thompson, a senior fellow at the S. Rajaratnam School of International Studies at Nanyang Technological University in Singapore. On the Chinese social media platform Weibo, the parade has dominated the top trending topics this morning, generating billions of views and setting off a wave of national pride. Among the highlights, the DF-61 and DF-5C intercontinental ballistic missiles have captured the most attention, with domestic spectators particularly impressed by their global range and striking capabilities. "I'm all teared up after seeing this. This means so much to us," a user wrote. Another said, "I'm grateful that our country made us feel so secure." Some people also joked that how they were turning from military enthusiasts into military laymen after having watched the parade because China's weaponry is evolving so quickly. One commented, "I don't recognize most of the equipment shown today, but I like their speed of upgrading." Kim arrived in his armored train at Beijing railway station on Tuesday afternoon, after a roughly 20-hour journey from neighboring North Korea. The slow-moving train is his transport of choice on the rare occasions he leaves his internationally sanctioned, nuclear-armed state, including for his last overseas trip to Russia, in September 2023. It provides him with a safer and more comfortable space for a large entourage, security guards, food and amenities, as well as a place to discuss agendas ahead of meetings, experts told Reuters. Beijing is only a short flight from Pyongyang, taking less than 2 hours. But there are safety concerns around Kim's aging private jet, a remodeled version of the Soviet-made IL-62 that is one of the oldest planes still in service anywhere in the world. The last time Kim used it for an international trip was to the northeastern Chinese city of Dalian in 2018. Kim's trip to Beijing is his first visit to China since 2019 and the fifth visit in total since he inherited power upon his father's death in late 2011. It is also his first multilateral diplomatic event. Trump said he was not concerned at all about China and Russia's possibly forming an axis against the United States. "We have the strongest military in the world by far," he said in an interview on the Scott Jennings radio show before the parade. "They would never use their military on us, believe me. That would be the worst thing they could ever do." Trump later asked on Truth Social during the parade whether Xi would also honor U.S. troops who died supporting China against Japanese occupation during World War II. "May President Xi and the wonderful people of China have a great and lasting day of celebration," he wrote. "Please give my warmest regards to Vladimir Putin and Jong Un, as you conspire against the United States of America." Schools across China organized watch parties for today's military parade as part of the country's patriotic education aimed at upholding the leadership of the ruling Communist Party. Students and teachers at many schools, including universities and colleges, gathered to watch state media's live coverage of the parade, according to images that schools posted on social media. Some private companies and state-linked industry groups also said they were joining the trend. China's patriotic education is a decades-long campaign to consolidate support for the ruling authorities. In 2023, Beijing passed legislation mandating that all schools shall have patriotic education permeate the entire course of education. One world leader who wasn't at the military parade, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who made his first trip to China in 7 years over the weekend but left before the festivities began. Tensions between India and China, the world's two most populous countries, have been high since a deadly border skirmish in 2020. But they have been moving to mend ties, an effort experts say may be accelerated after Trump alienated India by slapping it with 50% tariffs as punishment for buying Russian oil. Still, a number of issues stand in the way of India and China's repairing their relationship, and India remains a key U.S. security partner in Asia, which may explain why Modi skipped the parade. He also went to China soon after having visited Japan, which reportedly urged other countries not to attend an event it said would stoke anti-Japanese sentiment. Modi did, however, clasp hands with Xi and Putin and take a long ride in Putin's car at a security forum in China this week, in what was seen as a pointed message to Trump. Jong Un arrived in Beijing with his daughter, reinforcing speculation that she is being groomed as his heir apparent. Photos released by the North Korean news agency KCNA show Kim's daughter, Kim Joo-ae, arriving with her father on his armored train at Beijing railway station, where they were greeted by Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi and other senior officials. It is believed to be the first time that Kim, who rarely leaves North Korea, has taken his daughter on an international trip. Little is known about Kim Joo-ae, who is believed to be about 12 or 13, but she is the only one of Kim's children who has been seen in public, suggesting she may one day gain power in North Korea, which was previously ruled by Kim Jong Un's father and grandfather. South Korea's intelligence agency has said that Kim, who is believed to be 41, has 3 children, the eldest of whom is male. He may have decided to introduce her early onto the diplomatic stage and provide her with diplomatic lessons, which is why he brought her along on this visit to China, said Cheong Seong-chang, vice president of the Sejong Institute, a think tank in Seoul, South Korea. The parade format, including birds and balloons, followed the script of military parades in 2015 and 2019. The differences: higher stakes guests and heavier control of foreign media. Authorities yelled at anyone trying to point a lens, even a phone, in Xi's direction and took away the credentials of at least one photographer. It's clear that China is showing off its military equipment in the order in which it thinks future warfare is going to be conducted. China showed off its YJ-class missiles, which are typically medium-range anti-ship ballistic missiles and can be launched from a number of platforms, including submarines. It also displayed various hypersonic missiles, including the new YJ-17. Anti-ship missiles would pose a major threat to U.S. naval vessels in the event of military intervention in the Asia-Pacific, where China has been pressing its territorial claims on Taiwan and in the South China Sea. The series has enhanced the Navy's long-range rapid strike capability, and serves as a strategic hammer for safeguarding maritime rights and contesting sea control, said Xinhua, China's state-run news agency.